It's pretty good. Now, we are starting the work week with strong winds, and meteorologist Kaylee Dion is here. I also saw some flurries this morning on the way in.
Yeah, some light snowfall mixed with these winds that we have has caused some visibility issues. Not much, but it is something we've been talking about all morning long. We'll start with the wind gusts. This is the 20-mile-per-hour wind gust. This is right now 31 at KCI, 32 in Chillicothe, 38 in Sedalia. Now, the highest wind gust that we've had recorded this morning, 46 miles per hour in Lawrence, 43 in Clinton, 45 in Olathe, and 40 in Topeka. And you can see it here on our American Century Investment Skyview in Lawrence here. It's just whipping around those flags. The camera's kind of shaking a little bit as well. And then we still do have some light snow around in some locations. Here on our weather track radar, you can see that light purple and white. That's a flurry, very light snowfall. The darker, that pink color, that's where you're going to get more of that moderate snowfall at this point. So if we zoom it in and stop it so you can see where some of those colors are. There's some pink over Parkville all the way down into where the downtown airport is. Then there's also some pink just near the stadiums, just to the north of the stadiums there along I-70. If you look farther to the south along 69 Highway, there's another little area of pink, and that's going to be, again, that moderate. But it's not going to be much at this point. But when you have it with the wind, it kind of blows across the road there when you're driving. Just to give you an idea of how windy it has been today, check out this. This is from 79th and Oak. This was earlier this morning at around 7:30. No one was hurt, but you can see that the large tree was knocked over and even blocked that roadway. And the weather may have played a role in some of the power outages that we have seen this morning. Cynthia?
Yeah. Not smart.
That's on Lake Geneva up in Wisconsin.
Oh,
so I'm sure that they think that it should be cold enough at this point. But
they thought so. It wasn't.
Don't do it just because everyone else is doing it.
Yeah, not a good idea for sure. You were really reacting to that trooper story.
I know. I'm
about
glad.
The baby and getting the family got the ticket.
I thought they really got a ticket. I was getting really mad, but I'm glad it was just
it was just
document.
Exactly. What a story. That's pretty incredible. What a story for us. Wow, those winds, my goodness.
They've been howling since yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had some very strong wind gusts. We're going to go into the highest wind gusts we've seen, but I first wanted to start off with the weather track radar. This is looking at the snow that's falling out there. It's been very light. There have been pockets of a more moderate snow, and that you can see by the pink you can see in there. So all the purple and the white, that's going to be more that light flurry and light snowfall. The pink is where you see it higher in intensity, and so if we stop it so you can actually visualize where some of these spots are, you can see the pink on I-35 going through Overland Park, up through into Shawnee as well, and then up north toward 435 in the Missouri River. If you look along the eastern edge, just north of downtown, so near the casinos there's a little bit of a higher intensity snow, and then right along I-70 from where the stadiums are and moving to the east, you can have a little bit of that pink there. Sliding farther to the north, you can see there are just little pockets. Again, it's not going to be widespread, and if you look here at our American Century Investment Skyview, it's kind of hard. We wanted to zoom in so you can maybe pick up some of that light snow that's going on the plaza, but the camera's shaking quite a bit because of the winds, and you can see it perfectly here with these flags just whipping around from the live Skyview in Lawrence. We do have a wind advisory in effect, and that's going to be until 6 o'clock tonight for our area. If you look up to the north with the storm system, there's a blizzard warning until later on tonight up in Iowa. But for us, it's just a wind advisory. But these winds, man, they are strong, and they are ushering in some very cold air as it plunges to the south here. You can see that jet stream, it's all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico, so it kind of acts as a bowl and allows some of that cold air to sink farther to the south. Now, the Arctic air, we're still just off to the west of that, so we're not going to be feeling as cold as some of the other spots, which we'll look at in just a second, but we're going to be right in the middle of where the mild air and the cold air collide. It's a very tricky place to be for our forecast going into the next few days. So let's look at this as the current conditions here. Here's the storm. We are now seeing those strong northwest winds that are bringing down this Arctic air from Canada. So we've got 5 in International Falls, 8 in Duluth, 14 in Waterloo, and here we are in the low 30s. Now, going through the rest of the day today, we're going to stay in the low 30s because we're dealing with that cold air advection throughout the day today, so we're really not going to warm up. It's going to actually cool off a little bit. So if you watch it going into early Tuesday morning, temperatures fall into the low 20s for several locations, give or take a few degrees. And then going into the afternoon, yes, we warm up, but it's not going to be much. It's going to be another afternoon where we're sitting right in the low 30s. But look at this. We have 9 in Minneapolis compared to 61 in Amarillo. So look at that spread because we have that mild air and that cold air line really right over the top of us. Same thing Wednesday. Look at this, 30 degrees here, 63 in Dodge City, and look at Waterloo, 4 to 63. It's so tricky because give or take a few 100 miles, it's going to be either a little bit warmer or a little bit colder. Now, we're going to be more on the colder influence here going through the rest of the week. So if you look at the 7-day forecast, 29 degrees on Thursday. So you see we are still cold, but southwest winds start up as we go into early Friday. We're going to start to warm back up, but then we cool down again going into Saturday before we start a warm up. So February definitely in place as we go through the next week, but we're right in the middle there where you go a little bit farther to the southwest and it's nice and mild.
Oh, wow. So, well, we'll deal with it. Yeah, it hasn't been too bad, really, honestly, this winter. All right, thanks so much.
With Kansas City's most accurate forecast, here's meteorologist Kaylee Dion.
That looks so good. So good. All right, now to focus. Talk about what we have going on today. Very tricky forecast moving forward this week. We'll start with the snow showers out there, and I have it on loop here so you can kind of see it in which direction it's moving. The purple, the white, that's going to be very light. It's going to be flurries, not much. Now, there are very small pockets of a more moderate intensity, which there's not many left at this point, but if we stop it, you can kind of see 71 Highway here just to the south of the plaza. Then if you look up just to really south of 635. There's an area of that pink also along 435, like you're going up toward KCI Airport. There's also a small little area, just little pockets, again, where you're going to have a little burst of a little bit more intensity in regards to snow. Other than that, it's just a light flurry, barely able to see it. American Century Investment Skyview, you could see a little bit of it earlier, but the camera's just shaking so much, it kind of gives you a stomach ache. Lawrence, you can see the flags just whipping. I'm surprised they're even staying on that pole right now. Wind advisory in effect for our entire area. That's going to be until 6 o'clock tonight. That's what that taupe color is. If you look up farther to the north in Iowa and up into Minnesota, a blizzard warning from this storm. If we get in close here, our entire area is in that wind advisory. That wind is bringing in this cold air that's going to plunge to the south. Jet stream dip all the way to the Gulf Coast, so it kind of allows that cold air to sink a little bit farther to the south. Now, the actual Arctic air mass is going to slide just off to the east of us. We're kind of right in the middle of the ridge of high pressure, mild air, and then the Arctic cold air. So we're smack dab in the middle, puts us in a really tough spot here as we move forward for the rest of the week because we're kind of sitting on a boundary. So here's the low, here's the storm, here's that cold air. If we go up a little bit so you can see that Arctic air starting to make its way, really engulfing Minnesota at this point. So International Falls, 6, 8 in Duluth, 13 in Minneapolis, 18 in Fort Dodge. Now as we go into the afternoon, you know, we've continued to cool off throughout the morning. Now we're in the upper 20s. We're going to stay in the upper 20s to low 30s as we go into the day today, then falling into the low 20s, upper teens by the time we get to early tomorrow morning. You can see 16 in Chillicothe, 18 in Maryville, to the right around the low 20s farther to the south. Then we'll start a warm up. We will warm up. It's not going to be much, but look at this as we widen it out. This is 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday. The Arctic air is in place from Chicago at 23 to 9 in Minneapolis, compared to the 60s farther to the south and west of us, 50 in Oklahoma City, 43 even in Wichita. For us, we're going to be in the low 30 spot. Going into Wednesday, that cold air is still going to be really sitting right on the edge of it. So we're more influenced by the colder air than the mild. But look at how you just go down toward really Topeka, 37, 51 in Salina compared to 30 here, and 4 in Waterloo, single digits just to the north and east of us. So we're sitting right there in between both air masses as we go into Wednesday, Thursday as well. Southwest winds will start to bring in some warmer air as we go into Friday. It's short-lived though, because we have another blast of cold air moving in for Saturday, which is going to be a really cold Saturday, 25 degrees. And then as we go into Sunday, it warms back up. But really, it's a below average week. And we're sitting really close to some very mild air, but we're just a little out of touch.
So close. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, real taste of winter for sure. All right. Thanks so much.